Hey everyone, it's Denver here, and I'm really glad you're joining us today.
And I'm Lily, so happy to be back with you all.
And I'm Andy. It's always good to connect with you listeners.
Welcome to the Life Signal Podcast, where we talk about the parts of life we don't always have words for, but feel deeply. Today, we're diving into a topic that I think resonates with so many of us, but we often mislabel or misunderstand. It's about that feeling of, not doing what we should be doing, or feeling a lack of drive.
Yeah, it's like we instantly jump to, I'm lazy, or I'm not disciplined enough. We beat ourselves up, don't we? But what if that feeling, that lack of motivation, isn't about laziness at all? What if it's a signal, a whisper from within, telling us something deeper is going on?
Exactly. That's really the core of what we want to explore today. This idea that often what we perceive as laziness is actually a symptom of disconnection. Disconnection from ourselves, from our true needs, from what truly fuels us. It's a powerful reframing because it shifts us from judgment to curiosity.
I think that's so important, Andy, because laziness implies a moral failing, right? It's a judgment. But if we look at it through the lens of disconnection, it becomes an invitation to understand, to explore what might be missing or out of alignment in our lives. It's less about what's wrong with me and more about what do I need?
Oh, totally. I mean, how many times have we been in situations where we have a list of things to do and we just can't? Our body feels heavy, our mind feels foggy, and we just sit there feeling that immense guilt building up. And the immediate internal dialogue is, I'm just lazy. Why can't I get it together?
And it's interesting because laziness doesn't really explain why we can't get it together. It's an outcome, not a root cause. When we dive deeper, we often find it's a state of being overwhelmed, or perhaps an underlying emotional exhaustion that's manifesting as a lack of drive. It's burnout, really, not laziness.
That's a critical distinction, Andy. Burnout versus laziness. Burnout is when your resources are completely depleted, physically, mentally, emotionally. Laziness it's rarely actually laziness in the true sense. Most people want to feel engaged, want to be productive. When they can't, it's usually because the tank is empty or they're running on the wrong fuel.
Exactly. Think about emotional exhaustion. It's not just feeling tired, it's a deep weariness that settles in your bones. It happens when you've been giving and giving, maybe to work, to family, to friends, without replenishing your own cup. And when you're emotionally drained like that, the idea of starting a new task, even a simple one, feels monumental.
It can also stem from a loss of meaning or purpose. If you're going through the motions every day, doing tasks that feel meaningless or don't align with your values, that can absolutely drain your motivation. You might be physically capable, but your spirit isn't invested, and that translates into a perceived lack of effort.
That's something I see so much, Andy. People pushing themselves in careers or situations that just don't light them up anymore. They might have started with passion, but somewhere along the line, they lost connection to why they were doing it. And without that why, the what feels like a monumental chore.
And in our modern world, we're constantly bombarded with information, with demands, with notifications. That overstimulation can lead to a kind of numbness, almost like our senses just shut down because they can't process any more input. And when you're numb, it's really hard to feel motivated to do anything.
It's a defensive mechanism, really. The brain gets so overloaded that it tries to conserve energy by just disengaging. And that disengagement can look a lot like apathy or laziness from the outside, or even from our own internal critic. But it's actually our system saying, I need a break. I need less input.
So when we talk about disconnection, it can be from our true self, from our need for rest, from a sense of purpose, even from our faith or spiritual practices. All of these are vital components of our human experience, and when any of them are neglected, it inevitably impacts our motivation and overall energy.
Think about it. If you're constantly running on empty, sacrificing rest for productivity, you're disconnected from your body's basic need for recovery. Or if you're not spending time in nature, you're disconnected from the grounding energy of the earth. These things might seem small, but they add up.
And the societal pressure doesn't help. We live in a culture that valorizes the hustle, glorifies being busy, and often equates our worth with our productivity. This pressure culture breeds immense guilt when we're not constantly on or achieving, so not only are we disconnected, but we're also shamed for it.
That productivity guilt is a heavy one. It makes it even harder to just be, to just rest, because there's this internal voice screaming that you're falling behind, that you're not doing enough. It's a vicious cycle that pushes us further into disconnection rather than inviting us back to ourselves.
But the beautiful thing is, recognizing this disconnection is the first step towards healing it. It's about shifting from self-criticism to self-compassion. Instead of asking, "Why am I so lazy?" ask, "What am I disconnected from right now? What do I truly need?"
And it's remarkable how quickly reconnection can restore energy, clarity, and drive. When you start to gently bring yourself back into alignment with your authentic needs, desires, and values, that intrinsic motivation starts to return. It's not forced, it flows naturally.
It really does. It's like finding the right frequency on a radio. Suddenly, everything becomes clear. So for our listeners, we want to offer some gentle questions for you to reflect on this week. No pressure, just an invitation.
You might ask yourself, where do I feel drained in my life right now? Or, what part of myself have I neglected lately? Maybe, what activities or people truly nourish me, and how can I make more space for them?
And consider, am I operating from a place of genuine desire or from external pressure and obligation? And perhaps, what is my body trying to tell me when I feel this lack of motivation?
In terms of practical reconnection practices, they don't have to be grand gestures. They can be incredibly simple. Sometimes it's just about choosing rest when your body demands it, even if it feels counterintuitive to your to-do list.
Absolutely. It could be carving out just 5 minutes of silence in your day. No phone, no music, just stillness. Or spending some time in nature, truly observing the trees, the sky, the sounds, even if it's just sitting on your porch.
For some, it might be journaling, just getting thoughts and feelings out onto paper without judgment. For others, it's reconnecting with a spiritual practice, whether that's prayer, meditation, or simply quiet contemplation. And honest conversations with trusted friends can also be incredibly restorative.
It's about intentionality, isn't it? Consciously choosing to lean into what brings you back to center, even in small ways, because those small acts of self-connection compound over time, leading to a profound shift in energy and outlook.
And remember, this isn't about adding another thing to your to-do list. It's about listening, about tending to your inner landscape. It's about compassionately responding to what your body, mind, and spirit are truly calling for.
Yes, permission to slow down, permission to not be on all the time, permission to explore what's beneath the surface. That's where the real shift happens.
So as we wrap up today, we want to leave you with a sense of understanding and encouragement, not more pressure. You're not broken, you're not lazy, you're human, navigating a complex world.
And it's okay to feel disconnected sometimes. It's actually a vital sign, a signal, that something within you needs attention, needs care, needs to be rerouted.
Be kind to yourself as you explore these feelings. This journey of reconnection is deeply personal and incredibly worthwhile.
Thank you for listening to Life Signal Podcast. You're not lazy, you're just being called back to yourself.